In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Dell S3422DWG Ultrawide gaming monitor. If you want to check out this exact monitor during the video, you can find convenient Amazon links in the description down below. Now let's get started. The Dell S3422DWG is a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor with a 21:9 aspect ratio and a resolution of 3440 by 1440 or ultra-wide 1440p. This monitor has a curved VA panel equipped with a 3000:1 contrast ratio, decent viewing angles, and vibrant colors. IPS panels generally do have more vibrant and saturated colors, but they have a lower contrast ratio and are usually less bright, meaning you get a lower quality image overall. But first, let's look at the biggest factor that you have to consider when buying a new monitor, which is the actual difference in size compared to your current one. My previous monitor was a Dell U2518D, which is a 60Hz 1440p 25-inch monitor with an IPS panel. In comparison to my old 25-inch screen, the ultra-wide monitor's size is incredible, along with the slight 1800 R curve on this monitor, which is noticeable at first but looks nice. I upgraded to an ultra-wide to make video editing and productivity work easier and more enjoyable, thanks to the added screen real estate. Before I ordered this display, I was very hesitant about the fact that some games or applications would not work properly on an ultra-wide monitor. But I haven't noticed anything like that yet in the games that I play and applications that I use, so I wouldn't worry too much about that if I were you. Most of you are probably wondering whether it's even worth choosing an ultra-wide monitor if you previously had a smaller monitor, and in my opinion, I think it's definitely worth it. The added screen width may not seem like such a big difference at first, but after going back to a 16:9 monitor, you will start to actually appreciate the extra space that you have to work with. It allows you to multitask and be more productive, whether you're programming, video editing, doing research online, etc. So trust me, if you get this ultra-wide monitor yourself, you won't regret having that extra screen real estate along with all of its other features and specifications. But let's dig a bit deeper into this monitor's specifications and see what this monitor has to offer. The Dell S3422DWG has 90% coverage of the DCI-P3 color gamut, which is good for some professional color grading or color-accurate work and a few other professional applications. In terms of regular content, this monitor has 99% coverage of the sRGB color gamut, which are the colors displayed when browsing the web, writing in Microsoft Word, editing YouTube videos, and more. So surprisingly, the colors on this display are great, even though it has a VA panel, which usually has less vibrant colors. But moving on, as you might expect, the monitor's contrast ratio is also very good because of the fact that it is a VA panel, coming in at 3000:1. There is also no visible backlight bleed, which is amazing since dark scenes in games look great. So don't expect this to be a problem if it was one of your concerns. Next up, we have response time and gaming. The Dell S3422DWG has 3 response time settings, the first of which is fast mode. When in fast mode, there is a lot of noticeable ghosting, which is why this is not the setting you want your monitor to be in. Super fast, on the other hand, has less ghosting, better response times, and better image quality overall. When going up to extreme mode, though, ghosting and red and green smearing are terrible and extremely noticeable in games. Something to note is that the ghosting is much lower when actually seeing this monitor in person, so don't expect to get such high ghosting if you do buy this monitor. So when buying this monitor, set the response time setting to super fast, since the fast and extreme overdrive modes are terrible. Response times on this display are also great, with a 2 millisecond gray-to-gray response time in the extreme overdrive mode. But in super fast mode, it roughly gets around 3 to 4 milliseconds of gray-to-gray response time, which is still amazing for this class of monitor. When gaming, this monitor feels great, and the added screen space does make games feel more immersive and makes me more productive, which I was pretty skeptical about at first. The ports on this monitor more than suffice for anyone that doesn't have a specific use case for this, since this display has 2 HDMI 2.0 connectors, 1 display port 1.4 connector, a USB 3.2 upstream, and 4 USB 3.2 downstream connectors. For those that don't know, an upstream USB connector sends data to the monitor, like a hard drive, and a downstream USB connector receives data and power from the computer. This means that you can have your keyboard, mouse, and other peripherals plugged in there, which is awesome. Something to mention in terms of display cables is that you need to use the DisplayPort 1.4 cable to take advantage of the monitor's full 144 Hz, since HDMI 2.0 limits that to 120 Hz, so make sure to keep that in mind. Finally, the monitor's build quality is typical, with a solid base that feels like it will pass the test of time. But other than that, it has a sleek Dell design that I personally really like. Then it also has some height adjustability and tilt, which is also great. It also has a bit of swivel, just to level it out in case you have an unleveled desk, which is also nice. But in conclusion, this is an amazing monitor that I would recommend to anyone, whether you currently have a smaller or bigger screen, since this display ticks all of my checkboxes when it comes to a good display. So I think that it is the best budget ultra-wide monitor currently on the market. This monitor is currently available at a retail price of €450 in Europe and is not available in the US unless you buy it from Dell's official website. As always, if you're interested, then go check out my Amazon links in the description down below. But something useful to know is that you need a capable power supply to run the graphics card and other components, so go watch that video next.